Hello, Georgia Wing. I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Burbrink, and I'm joined with First Lieutenant Peace and Senior Master Sergeant Trisbiak. We wanted to thank you so much for your interest in Capitol Day. Even though it's only for a few hours, it's one of the more important events that the Wing has every year. So we ask that you watch this video so you understand a little bit more about what you're getting into.
First off, what is Capitol Day? Capitol Day is an event where members of the Civil Air Patrol can go and meet the local representatives in their area along with some senators as well. It is a great opportunity for them to show off all the good that Civil Air Patrol has.
You also get an amazing opportunity to tour the Capitol and learn a little bit more about our state. Now, when it comes to uniforms for Capitol Day, the preferred option is Class A blues, as you see on us. If you don't own a Class A jacket, it is perfectly okay to wear Class Bs. If you do have one, a tie would be preferred, or a tie tab for females. If you're a new cadet who doesn't own blues, or something goes wrong and your blues get stained or aren't in regulations, you can still attend, but we ask that you wear business or business casual clothes. Remember that ADUs and flight suits are absolutely prohibited from Capitol Day. Please don't wear these, or we will either have to have you change or get sent home.
For adult members, it's recommended that they wear their blues, but if they don't have access to those, we'd prefer them to wear these different uniforms in this order. Their blazer combo, their whites, and lastly, their business casual.
Because of all this high security, just a reminder to please not bring any weapons or something that can be considered a weapon, such as a pocket knife or multi-tool, which are the most common mistakes that people make. Don't bring these items into the Capitol. We also do understand that your uniform has metal on it, so don't be surprised if they ask you for additional screening. You shouldn't have to remove your uniform, and if they request that you do, ask for additional screening instead. Also, if you're over the age of 18, please bring your photo ID with you as they may request this.
To reduce the amount of traffic, we will only be emailing 2 adult members from each squadron, so if you have any questions, please reach out to them.
And now is the important part of the day. We call it working the ropes. This is where you'll get to meet with your representatives and senators one-on-one. For this process, you should reach out to them a few weeks in advance to let them know that you will be there and that you'd like to talk with them if possible. Upon arrival, you'll fill out a slip which will confirm your request. Now let's look at a good versus bad example of interacting with your representatives.
Sir, can I meet you?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I want to talk to you about CAP and why we should raise funding for our programming, because it's really good for us, sir.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've done in Civil Air Patrol?
I've flown. We fly in Cessnas. We do PT. We have our squadron meetings every Thursday where we'll learn about ES and aerospace.
Awesome. I appreciate you telling me about that.
Thanks, sir.
So let's talk about what didn't go well. First of all, confidence is key. You're meeting with some very established members of the community, and they want to see that you know what you're talking about. So make sure you rehearse what you're going to say before you arrive at the event. Also, you should know your legislators' names for around your squadron's area. That way you're able to call them over by name and show that you've done your research before arriving. Also, try to be as specific as possible as you can with your examples. If you have personal stories on how Civil Air Patrol has helped you in life, that is perfect to share. Because instead of directly addressing that we want to raise funds, we want to show them the good that Civil Air Patrol does and why it deserves those funds, rather than asking for them directly. Senator Peace.
Yes.
I'm Cadet First Lieutenant Burbrink. Nice to meet you. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're really busy, but I just wanted to explain a little bit about Civil Air Patrol. I recently got accepted into the Air Force Academy, and I can confidently say Civil Air Patrol is one of the main things that made that possible. I've learned a lot about leadership, communication, and in fact, if you told me that I'd be talking to a senator right now without Civil Air Patrol, I would have thought you're crazy. So beyond just that, we've done a lot of amazing things like learning how to fly, going on field trips, all these amazing things, and it really does help the youth of America. And beyond that, we also help with emergency services, which helps us save lives within the state. And I just think that it would be really amazing if you're able to look into Civil Air Patrol a little bit more as you go about your career.
This is very cool. Please tell me more.
Awesome. I'd be glad to meet with you in the future. I know that you're very busy trying to get into the chamber. So if you'd like, feel free to reach out and we'll be able to come into your office later on. Let's talk about why that went well. First of all, I knew the senator's name, so I was able to immediately make a relatively personal connection with him. I also explained personal reasons why Civil Air Patrol had helped, and also why it applied to the general public. So that would be a great example, and I highly encourage that you practice both at home and with your squadron so you're able to really nail it on Capitol Day. If they happen to ask any questions that you don't know the answer to, make sure you don't lie. It's okay to say, sir or ma'am, I'm not quite sure, but I can get the answer for you, because we do have a process set up for that. If they ask a question you don't know, write it down, and you can bring it to the command room where they'll get the answer and then send it to their office directly. That way we can get them all the answers without having to try to stumble over a lie. Thank you again for your interest in Capitol Day. As a reminder, you're there representing the best of all cadets. So please make sure that your uniform and appearance is within regulation. Check your fingernails, make sure everything is on your uniform correctly, and most importantly, shave and cut your hair. And also just remember that ABUs and flight suits are not allowed within the Capitol. If you have any questions, please reach out to your squadron staff and they'll do their best to answer them for you. Look forward to seeing you at the Capitol.